Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Janice if you're new here. So in today's video, I'm going to review for you two new electric toothbrushes I've been trying out the past month. They're both from Burst. So I'm going to review the Burst. This is their Pro Sonic toothbrush. And then also from Burst, this is their Curve Sonic toothbrush. So both of these kindly were gifted to me, but I have used a Burst electric toothbrush in the past. I really did love it. And also, if you're just new to my channel, I used to be a registered dental hygienist for, I think, over 13 years in Ontario, Canada. I currently live in Switzerland, so it was so nice of them to send these to me. Currently, these products are available in the US, so that won't be a problem. Most of my viewers are from the US, but some of their other items do ship within the US, Canada, and the UK. So if these are not available to you where you live, you can check out some of their other items and it might become available in the future. So first up, I'll review the Curve Sonic toothbrush. So this one comes in black, a rose gold color, which is pink, and then a cobalt blue. So the black one that I'm holding, this retails for $29.99 US dollars. So I think that that is a very good price point if you've never used an electric toothbrush before. The two colored ones are for $34.99. So that might be good if you just really like that color, or if multiple people in your household are going to be using this toothbrush so you don't mix it up. So replacement heads for this toothbrush are $7 US, and it's recommended to change it every 12 weeks or every few months. I would caution you to even change it out more if you've been sick or anything like that. I will say with the Curve one, you need to order the specific toothbrush head for it, because I'm going to take this off for you and show you. You can see that the top is slanted a little bit, so you need to specifically order this toothbrush for this model. So this toothbrush model was designed with travel in mind, or to take it with you while you're on the go, whether it's to the gym, taking it to work. It comes with a removable cap, and the end is perforated, so it lets air in there so your toothbrush can breathe. So it's very sleek in design, and you can see that the toothbrush just has a very slight curve to it. It's extremely lightweight. That's the thing I notice most. This is the lightest electric toothbrush I've ever owned. It has a charging port that is a little bit hidden. I'll do a close-up of it, but it's on the bottom. Stands up nicely on the counter. It comes with a USB-C cord to charge it with, so you just plug it in there. I did want to note it doesn't come with a charging block. Most of us have a charging block if we have an iPhone or some other little gadget around our household, but it's just maybe something to note in case you're gifting this to an elderly person that maybe doesn't have a cell phone or anything like that. You can buy additional charging blocks on their website that are only $7 US, so it's pretty reasonable, but probably most of us have it at home, but it's just something I wanted to note. So some of the features of this one, it includes a 75-day battery life off of one charge, which is amazing. So probably if you go on holiday, you don't have to bring the charging cord with you. It has a 2-minute timer built into it, which is great. That's the recommended amount of time that you should be brushing your teeth each time. And it has a pause every 30 seconds to let you know when to switch quadrants. So just in case you're not aware, in dentistry, we divide your mouth into 4. You have 4 quadrants. So you should spend approximately 30 seconds in each quadrant. So this notifies you when to switch quadrants. This has 2 brushing modes, a sensitive mode and whitening. And then also something that I really like, it has a lock mode. So when you first get this toothbrush, it might be in the locked position. So you can push this smiley face button 4 times, and that's going to unlock it. Or you can also push it 4 times again to lock it. And that's just to prevent it from going off in your bag or your suitcase when you're traveling with it. So why this toothbrush is called the Curve, it has a slight curve to it. It's a little easier to see when I put the cap back on. I'll show that to you. So it has a slight curve, and this was designed so we can access the back molar teeth a little bit easier. So often those teeth are more prone to getting cavities than the anterior or front teeth. So that's why they designed it like that. I will say I absolutely love the handle on this. Even though it is a slight curve, you might be thinking, does this make much of a difference? It really does. I love it. So next up, after using it for 1 month, I'm going to discuss what I like, what I dislike about this, and what I recommend it, and who it might be good for. So I'm going to get my dislikes out of the way, and then I'll go over what I like about it. So the only thing that I wanted to mention, which is not a deal breaker for me, but I think it could be improved upon, is because this is designed for travel, the cap on it, even though it fits on perfectly fine, it doesn't lock on very well. So I feel like if you just threw this in your suitcase or your gym bag, it might loosen up and come off. This is not an issue for me just because I have a big toiletry bag that I pack all this stuff in. So this would never just be in my bag, rolling around loose in there. I did want to mention that because I saw a few other people mention that in the reviews. So it could just be because of the curved design that they had to make the cap like that. Is it a deal breaker for me? No. So the two modes, so there's sensitive and the whitening mode. I tried the sensitive. For me, I feel the sensitive is almost too gentle. This would probably be better if your teeth are very sensitive, or maybe for a child that doesn't like that very vigorous feeling. What I do love though is the whitening mode, which when you turn on the toothbrush, that's what it defaults to. The whitening mode is excellent. I'm somebody, I typically, even if my toothbrush has a lot of different settings or modes, I typically stick with one or two, and usually I always like the whitening one. The whitening one on this is excellent. So that's kind of what I have mine set at. So for only $29.99, I think that this does an excellent job brushing on the whitening mode. So another thing that I love about this, and this goes for all the Burst electric toothbrushes, I remember this the first time that I got one. The bristles on this are definitely the most unique out of any electric toothbrush I've ever tried. I really feel like at this point, and just due to my previous job, I have tried probably close to 50 manual or electric toothbrushes in my life. This one's definitely unique. I'll try to do a close-up of the bristles for you, but what I really noticed with this one the first few times you use the brush is that the bristles, they're so soft and very fine that they go a lot deeper under your gum line than any other electric toothbrush I've ever tried. It almost gives a tickling sensation, and like I said, I feel like once your gums get used to that after a few days of using it, you don't notice that anymore, but I can definitely tell that this is reaching a lot deeper than any other toothbrush I've ever tried. Another thing I love is the toothbrush bristles are extra soft, which is something that's really important. You should only ever be buying extra soft or a sensitive toothbrush head, whether that's for a manual toothbrush or electric, just so it's gentle on your gums. Most people are often a little bit heavy-handed when they brush too, so it's very important. And I like how the toothbrush bristles are cut. They're cut to go interdentally, so just meaning between the teeth. So I just find that this really gives an exceptional clean. Really like it. I'm really pleased with the price point of this black one, $29.99, just because I feel like for how clean it gets your teeth, this is much closer to the toothbrushes that retail for $100 or over. And I think for a lot of people that have never tried an electric toothbrush and they don't know if they would like it or not, this is a great model to start out with, or again, keep it for travel, or maybe take it to your work, keep it in your desk or your gym bag. So I just wanted to say, and this goes for any electric toothbrush, sometimes when we switch technologies, so whether that's going from a manual toothbrush to electric or from one electric toothbrush to another, it's almost like when we get a new iPhone or a new computer, there's a little bit of a new learning curve. You might at the beginning feel like you don't like it, or you prefer your old one, or it just doesn't feel the same. Stick with it though. Usually after the first few days to 1 week, you're going to get used to it. So being a hygienist all those years, I would say most people should be using an electric toothbrush, or they could definitely benefit. There is a small percentage of people that it just doesn't work for them. They've tried lots of electric toothbrushes. They either don't like the feeling, sometimes it triggers some people's gag reflex. Some people have sensory issues. Some people, just if they have motor issues, it's hard for them to hold on to. There's a select group that it might not be suitable for. So I really do appreciate the $29.99 price point. That way you can test it out without breaking the bank. So I'll show you a close-up of how to put this into the lock mode, and also how to toggle between the whitening and the sensitive settings. So for the curved toothbrush, the smiley face button will flash purple and white 2 times when it's in lock mode. So there you go. I had pushed it 4 times, so to lock it, and now let's unlock it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So to change the modes on this curved toothbrush, you need to hold down the power button until it cycles through the mode options. Like I said, there's only 2 modes, so sensitive and the whitening, and I prefer whitening. Once you set it to whitening, it's going to default to that, so when you turn your toothbrush on again, it will just always be on the whitening if you like that one. can pause it. And now it's on the sensitive. So that's how you do it. Sometimes it takes a little, playing around with it at first just to get used to it. So overall, would I buy this? Yes, I absolutely would. But like I said, I prefer to use it only on the whitening setting. Do I think it is worth the $29.99? Absolutely. And I would encourage you to buy it, especially if you've never tried an electric toothbrush. This is a great one to start out with, or if you need an additional one for travel or for work. So not only would I buy this, but in my washroom right now, I think between my manual and electric toothbrushes, I have 5 different ones right now I've been testing out. And for whatever reason, I seem to really gravitate towards this one. I think I just really appreciate the lightweight design. It just feels the best in my hand, and I like the slight curve. It does make it very easy to get to the back molar teeth. So yeah, this is a winner in my book for sure. So the back of the toothbrush there too, it has some little rubbery bumps, which is intended to be used as a tongue scraper. So this is just my personal opinion. I have never liked using an electric toothbrush on my tongue at all, unless it's turned off. So that's just my preference. And I actually keep a manual toothbrush to scrub my tongue, especially after you have something like tea or coffee, any sort of food that might stain your teeth or your tongue. It's really important to do a good job brushing your tongue. A lot of the bacteria that causes bad breath, it's living on your tongue. So that's just my preference, but if you do like it, they do have that feature as well. I just find that this is a little bit too tiny to clean my tongue. I prefer an actual tongue scraper or a larger manual toothbrush with a large head. Okay, so secondly, let's review Burst. This is their Pro Sonic toothbrush. So this toothbrush comes in the rose gold, which is the pink color like I'm holding right now. It has the cobalt blue, black and white. So the black and white versions are $79.99 US, and this and the cobalt blue retail for $89.99. So same with this toothbrush, the replacement heads are $7 US, and it's recommended to replace it every 12 weeks. So when I take this head off, you can see that the top is a little bit more flat. So it's not angled like the curve. Also, just a little tip when I'm doing that, make sure to take the head of your brush off and just really clean this part of your toothbrush. Otherwise, toothpaste will build up there, and sometimes it can affect how much the head is vibrating over time. So it's just a little tip for any electric toothbrush. So something amazing about this toothbrush, I thought I actually read it wrong. So one charge, this will last 9 months. That is insane. I wish my cell phone was like that. So that is using it on the more gentle setting, but still, even if it lasted a few months without having to charge it, that's amazing. So the Pro model comes with this sort of charger. So it has a very sleek base that it sits into. I really like that it cradles in there without tipping over. Some other electric toothbrushes I have, they just have a very square base that you just sit flat on top, but it can get knocked over easily. So I appreciate that it actually has a base to sit into. And then it also comes with a similar sort of cord. It doesn't come with a charging block either. So again, you can purchase one off their site if you need it, or just use one that you have laying around. So with their Pro model, it is clinically proven to remove 10 times more plaque than a manual toothbrush. So this model also has the 2-minute timer built in with a pause to let you know when to switch quadrants. It's also water resistant, so you can take it in the shower with you. If you're new to brushing with any sort of electric toothbrush, you really need to commit to the full 2 minutes. Guide this along and let it do the work for you. You don't want to apply too much pressure, which is awesome because in this, it actually has a pressure monitor. So if you push too hard, this is going to ease up just so it doesn't hurt your teeth or your gums over time. So a lot of us, myself included, were a little bit heavy-handed. So instead of holding it with a death grip, you can even just lighten up and hold it with a couple of fingers, like 2 or 3 fingers, as opposed to holding it like that. So the Pro version, this one has 5 cleaning modes. So that's essentially, in my opinion, what you're really paying for. This gives a more customized brushing experience, and it's a lot more thorough. So if you can afford this, this is great. So the 5 modes are whitening, clean, massage, sensitive, and freshen. Something that I love about this model is when you turn it on, it has a screen here, and when you're done your brushing, it gives you a score. So I'll show a close-up of that so you can see. So with that, I wasn't brushing my teeth, but I just wanted to show you how it gives you a score at the end. So the score might be something that's great if you're a parent and you want to monitor your child's brushing. You can just ask them to show you that after. I wish this one would have come with a travel case or a cap, just because I think at this price point that would be nice to include, but again, it's not a deal breaker for me. The price of this one I still feel is very fair. Would I pay extra to have the colored models? Personally, I probably wouldn't, but again, that might be beneficial if you and your family are using the same type of toothbrush and you just want to distinguish them based on the colors. I'll give you a little tip that I would tell patients if more than one person has the same toothbrush at home. What you can do, you can take some nail polish and put a little dot maybe on the bottom or the side, or write somebody's initial with nail polish. It's just a little tip that I would tell people. Like I said, most people are probably like me, and once you get to know the toothbrush, there's probably going to be a couple of modes that you prefer, and then the other modes you don't use so much. So just keep that in mind, because you're kind of paying for features that you might not necessarily use. So just to show you a comparison of the two heads, so the bristles are essentially the exact same. So the length of the toothbrushes is quite different. I don't mind the shorter one at all. The longer one might be easier if you're a caretaker for someone and you're brushing somebody else's teeth for them, whether that's a child or someone that's elderly. Either or though, I really like for myself. Definitely the base of this one is a little bit heavier. This one is lighter, so if that matters to you. I would say definitely the more expensive Pro version, it makes my teeth feel cleaner. What I sometimes do though, I find myself gravitating towards this one in the day. Usually I brush my teeth anywhere from, I would say 3 to 4 times per day. And that's because I'm at home now, so I can brush my teeth a little bit easier throughout the day. Definitely at the end of the day before you go to bed, you need to do a very, very thorough job brushing and flossing just to get everything off your teeth and your tongue from the day. So I really find myself using this at night, and then sometimes I gravitate toward this one during the day. Both of these can be used in the shower, so if that encourages you to brush for the 2 minutes, it makes less of a mess around your sink, do that by all means necessary. That's what I would always tell patients. So definitely the higher end one, the Pro version, it gives my mouth the cleanest feeling, like that I just came from the dentist type cleaning feel. This one though is very good. So if this one is not in your budget, this is fine, but I prefer it on the whitening mode. Both are great options, but if you can afford it, I would suggest the Pro one. And I really like that it has the pressure monitor built in. That's really important, I think, for a lot of us, just because most of us tend to brush too hard. That can cause gum recession or even damage to your enamel, I've seen for some patients. I feel like the Pro, with all the different settings, it definitely gives my teeth the cleanest feeling, but this is a very, very close runner-up. And for whatever reason, I said I just gravitate to the feel of this one. I feel like the perfect toothbrush would be if it was this shape, but it had all 5 modes. That would be great. But I would say if you do have the money in your budget, I think I would recommend this one for your primary toothbrush at home. If you could only afford this one though, in the whitening mode, I think this is great as well. So you have 2 different options at 2 different price points. Perhaps maybe you would even want to invest in both of them. I've said this before in another video. Some people think that they might not be able to afford an electric toothbrush that's closer to the $100 price point, but I'm gonna argue you can. We all waste a lot of money on pointless things like coffee, takeout food, maybe junk food that we don't really need. Save up and invest in this, because even if this prevents one cavity, one filling in your life, one filling is going to be way more than $100. And often, even if you're lucky enough to have dental insurance, a lot of times dental insurance, it won't cover 100% of it. So you're still going to be paying out of pocket. An electric toothbrush to me is just one of those holy grail items I will never sacrifice. I just always will have to have one in my life. So I hope that review was helpful. I will link these 2 toothbrushes down below. If you have any questions, feel free to write it in the comments. Also, I will link Burst's own YouTube channel down below, because they have some very quick videos that are helpful. If you're just looking for a quick answer, how to change the setting on either one of these toothbrushes, I found their channel quite helpful. And like I said, whenever you switch to something new, there might be a little bit of a learning curve, but stick with it. So happy New Year, everyone. Until next time, bye.